Once again, it's that time of year where all of the YouTubers are coming out of the woodwork with their list of 10 things that you absolutely have to buy from their affiliate links. Now, although it's pretty obvious that we don't all need whatever the hell small rig or Ulanzi came out with last month, there's a lot of videos out there and they're creating a lot of noise. So I just wanted to create my own video to remind you guys that, you know, you really don't need that much at all. There's literally only 3 accessories that I use on every single shoot, and frankly, I wouldn't want to be caught dead without any of them. Now, I'm not going to go into batteries, chargers, SD cards, lenses, and everything else your camera needs to run. Frankly, I wouldn't consider those accessories anyway. With that aside, here are the 3 accessories that I always take with me on every single shoot. As an event photographer, I only carry one backpack with me, so for me the priority is to carry light and to be minimal. You know, if I take a lot of things with me, I'll probably just end up losing them anyway, so, you know, I like to keep it simple. So the things that I carry with me are absolute essentials. If you disagree with any of these, or there's anything else that you absolutely can't live without, let me know in the comments below. Stick around to find out what the hell this thing I've been holding is, and then at the end, I'll let you in on a special extra that I've recently found has been making my life as a photographer a lot easier. Now, if I'm going to a shoot, you bet your ass I'm going to take a flash with me. Yet it surprises me that so many photographers don't even own one. With my style of work, flash is absolutely essential, but you don't need to spend hundreds to get good results. This one right here is the Godox TT350, and they're only about £75. I've gone through quite a few of these because I absolutely abuse them, but I always make sure that I've got one in my bag. Although this one has a screen and TTL and all the other bells and whistles, I frankly couldn't care less about those features. I just like this one because it's small, relatively cheap, and quite reliable. Frankly, this one isn't even fully compatible with the cameras I've been shooting lately. This one's a Fuji flash, back from when I was toying with switching to Fuji. So, you know, none of the TTL or any of those features work. But again, I only use it on manual, you know, keep it nice and simple. You know, it works all right. You really don't need that much. It's just, does it flash? Yeah, sweet, I'll take it. I often don't even take a flash modifier with me. I don't take a Gary Fong, I don't take a softbox, I just use it bare. Now, I have a very specific technique on how I do that, and I should probably make a video on that very soon. But in a nutshell, if you're using your flash like this, pointing it directly at your subject, you're doing it the wrong way. Which brings me nicely to the next item on the list. Next on the list is flash transmitters. Now, this thing is so important that I carry several in my bag just in case one stops working. I've got this one by Godox, which came out recently. Now, they've got a new one that's come out and I really want that one, but honestly, until this one breaks, I just can't justify it. I've got this slightly older one by Godox also. Now, in the UK, Godox is called Pixar Pro. Don't ask me why, but yeah, so I've got this one and it's compatible with this flash. More on that later. I really like these ones as well. So these are proper cheap. You can get these for absolute pennies. I think this one was like 15 quid. Now this is really nice because it's really small and it's perfect for small cameras. The annoying thing about it is that you've got to stick this on the flash. So this is the receiver for this transmitter. Now that's quite bulky, but you know, still, these two together are still smaller than that. So go figure. I've also got the Flash Q. This is the world's smallest flash transmitter. It's also the worst. Honestly, these things are slow, they're hard to use, and I'm not a big fan of them. But honestly, look, they're so small that it's just an absolute... Oh, I just love them. Look how small that is. Now, you could just stick these in your bag and have them as an emergency if you so need. So the way it works is this wirelessly transmits a signal to this flash. There you go. So the wireless flash is very important in the way I do my work because I like to hold my flash up here. So then it goes down onto the subject. You get like a really nice shadow under the nose and under the chin. It really highlights the facial structure, the good parts anyway. You know, it hides double chins with the shadow. It's really good for quick run and gun portraits. You know, just hold the flash up here, flashes down. And then another benefit you get from pointing it down like that is that as the flash comes down, it doesn't hit the background. So you get a better subject separation because you're not also lighting up the background, you're only lighting up your subject. But you know, having said that, I don't always use my flash with a transmitter. If there happens to be a white ceiling at the venue, I might very well stick it on my camera and then I don't point it forwards, I point it backwards. And people look at me like, what the hell are you doing? The flash is pointing the wrong way. No, it's pointing the correct way. Because when you bounce it backwards, you get a lovely patch of light up on the ceiling and it creates really soft light. It's kind of like if you had a softbox up on the ceiling. So last in the list is this thing, which I didn't use to carry with me at all back when I used to shoot with DSLRs. But now that I've moved to mirrorless, I find myself having to take it with me everywhere. This thing is officially known as a blowy thing, otherwise known as the douche I found inside your mum's bedside table. Now, despite the outrageous design, these things are actually quite handy. I use them to blow dust off the sensor. I also use them to blow dust off my lenses, if I had any with me. Where are my lenses? Lenses, right before I use my t-shirt to wipe them. Don't act like you've never used your t-shirt to wipe your lens. I actually used to have a really nice microfiber cloth. It was like the size of A4 and it was like a really nice microfiber material. I don't know where the hell it's gone, man. I really miss it. Anyway, if you shoot video, these things are absolutely essential as well, because although I could go into my editing software and use the magic brush to remove a speck of dust, if you're doing video, you can't really do that. And having a moving image with one spot that doesn't move, you know, you can really notice it. So yeah, if you're doing video, absolutely essential. Oh, here's a little pro tip, by the way. You can actually pull this thing off and now that becomes much easier to carry. You can squeeze it like that and then it barely takes up any space in your bag. Now, I used to hate these things because it's like, oh, they take up so much space to carry around. Well, you could just pull that apart and, you know, job's a good one. Now, if you're going to do this, I'd recommend that you give it a few squeezes just to make sure that you get rid of any dust that might have built up in there whilst you were traveling. But yeah, pull it off. It's much easier to carry that around. Now, here's the special extra I mentioned earlier. It's got to be this palm strap. This one is made by Small Rig and it only costs about 20 bucks, but it makes carrying a big camera so much nicer. It kind of gives me that old school camcorder feel, and honestly it's so nice to carry a camera like this. It's so secure, don't even need to hold it. It's really nice. So yeah, I think these are called palm straps, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, one of these bad boys, highly recommend it. So to recap, besides the obvious lenses, batteries, SD cards and all of that, the only three things that I always make sure are in my bag in order of importance are a flash transmitter, and this blowy thing. And as I mentioned in the extra, I also take this with me to some jobs. If I'm only using one lens, then I'll keep this one because it means I'm only using one camera. If I'm using two cameras at the same time, I use two lenses. This gets a little bit in the way, so I just leave it in my bag sometimes. Alright, so as you can see, I don't really carry that many bits and bobbers with me. But that's mostly just because I'm a photographer. If I was doing video, it'd be a completely different ball game. But still, as a photographer, those are my three essential items plus that extra. And yeah, you know, it's not a lot. Now, I'd love to know what you guys just can't shoot without. So please let me know in the comments down below if there are any accessories that you just can't live without.